Hi, is this Mr. Layne?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Layne. It's Mohini calling you back. I guess I'm just, a little bit, I guess just surprised because, I thought that you'd be just a whole lot more supportive of me. And I only had contacted you the other day because, you had said before that, if I needed any direction in the future, feel free to call you. And you seemed really nice, when you, like a few years ago. So I guess I was just kind of really surprised that you were kind of, so defensive and not just, I guess, trying to create all these excuses, not to be helpful. I mean, this is a very difficult, like you can imagine how difficult this is for me to even speak about because it's just so embarrassing.
Right. I wasn't being antagonistic or not being helpful, right? When I explained to you, first of all, I explained to you what I saw as far as your original complaint pertaining to the harassment. I read the report and I told you that it was closed. So I did not have the understanding that there was an investigation, right? Which is why we agreed that I will follow up with Constable White next week.
Actually, no, that wasn't the conversation at all. When I spoke to you,
yes. Just let me finish, please.
Okay.
Right? So, because you were concerned about me deterring Constable White from continuing with the investigation, right? And I said I wasn't going to do that. I said all I wanted to do was to determine whether or not there was an ongoing investigation, because at this point, I am of that impression that there isn't an ongoing investigation from Peel Regional Police.
Okay, so
further to that, you also sent me an email, right? I didn't review it at the time when we spoke on the phone, but I reviewed it afterwards, and I saw there was a comment from a detective from Toronto Police who has reached out to you and was interested in pursuing your complaint.
But
right?
that was because he was not aware that the matter had already previously been reported to Peel. So let me just, I guess, back up.
But we don't know what the status. Just let me finish, and then I'll let you talk.
Sure.
Okay. So right now we don't know what the status of your complaint is in the region of Peel, and I also explained so that's the reason why I had to follow up with Constable White. Further to that, I also explained to you that this matter occurred in Toronto.
No, it didn't. It occurred here.
Right,
it occurred here.
Okay, the judge is in Toronto, the courthouse is in Toronto.
Okay, but
right? I was hear me out.
Yeah, I was here in my house. Plus, because there was a white van with the judge that came out, and your officers were told that when they came out in September, he came out in a white van outside my house. They never investigated that, and that again, is within the area of Peel. So they just dropped the ball. To be honest with you, they just dropped the ball. But can I just, before you go too far and I forget all the things that you said, number one, when I spoke to you last week, there wasn't any indication as to the status of the report, and I explained to you that these police officers came out to my house. They assured me that they would do a report. It's on the body cam, and also they said that they would follow up with the judge. Then a few days later, I contacted them, and I think I have an email to them saying if they're not, I was scared because I said if you're not going to properly investigate this, such as getting the audios that do exist, then there's no point in you contacting him because he's just going to retaliate. And that's exactly what he's doing with this Detective Ward. So that's perhaps a misunderstanding. So I just want to make sure you understand, because I did explain this to you a few days ago. I guess it was last week. I don't know if it was last week, it was a few days ago, but in my last conversation with you a couple of days ago, I did explain that to you. So again, the whole thing is that these Peel officers just basically left me hanging for months. I called, they never would put me through to them, and they kept, I was kept being told send another email, I sent umpteen emails, and I since did speak to Officer 4683, which is Frangella, and she, she basically was making up stories, and she kept contradicting herself yesterday, and just like she had no credibility. Like she was just all she was there trying to do, and that's when they came out in September. All they kept trying to do is invalidate me. Okay, and that's not their job, to invalidate me. I'm telling them that there's evidence. I'm telling them what had happened. They should have been investigating this. Instead, they went and they apparently did see the judge, because I did get confirmation from Fangella yesterday, as well as as well as previously from Officer White and his supervisor. So they should have been investigating it. As it is, they just left me hanging. And when I left it with you the other day, the understanding was not that you were going to be, because I told you I was not, and I even followed up with an email. I was not putting in a complaint at this time because Officer White had gotten on the phone with Officer 4606 on January 19th when I went into the station, as well as the supervisor, which is Supervisor Wood, and they told me to send additional information that I did have. I did do that the same night, and that they would, a report would surely be filed, and they would go and get the audios and do a proper investigation. Because, the original two appeal officers, 4606 and especially 4683, Fangella, specifically thought it was their job to constantly invalidate me, which is not their job, to basically, try to continue to invalidate, because that's what women, that's what women go through all the time. People that don't want to, that try to invalidate their story and, minimize it. And even you did the same thing a couple days ago, because you were saying, oh, if he just asked you out, it's no problem. No, that's a problem.
I did not say that, please.
You did say that.
I did not say that, okay? So if you're gonna make false allegations like that,
no, but
I'm going to terminate the conversation.
No, but I mean,
all I told you was that I was going to look into this matter to see
but I specifically told you.
I did not. Comments from the judge.
I specifically, Mr. Layne.
I find that
okay, so Mr. Layne, I specifically, I haven't finished the conversation, right? I specifically told you.
Very offensive that you would make
but I told you
I did not say that at all.
In my conversation with you a few days ago, when I followed up with an email, I told you that I did not want you to investigate this, because at this point, Peel Police had confirmed for me with Officer White and his supervisor, and I was right there when he got on the phone with the supervisor and spoke to Officer 4606. So when I had my last conversation with you a few days ago, I told you, and I even followed up with an email, that I do not want you at this point poking your nose into it, because they already confirmed that they're going to be carrying through.
Whether or not there is an investigation underway, and if once I confirm that.
No, but so why are you interfering? Why are you trying to interfere in this investigation? Now that they're now that
me then in the first place.
Well, because I was very dissatisfied with our last conversation. I explained to you some of the things that you were saying, and I don't
about the officers. You called me for assistance with respect.
Yeah, I know, and I was surprised that instead of being helpful like you previously were years ago, instead, you basically were trying to come up with excuses why Peel should not take this case. Let me put it to you this way: before TPS. Before TPS found out that Peel was already handling this matter, without me giving them even a quarter of the information that I gave to Peel Police, they were ready to have it investigated. So why did Peel drop the ball? Why did these two officers continue to try to invalidate me? And why are you trying to interfere in something that I have not filed a complaint, and I'm not asking for you to get involved, because it seems to me that they're handling it.
Okay, so you don't want me involved in anything?
I told you. I told you. Okay, I called you, number one, because I was dissatisfied with our last conversation, and it's a good thing, because although I told you not to at this point get involved because there is no complaint, and I explained to you that my concern, based on our last conversation, is that you're going to try to somehow impede this investigation. Right? I don't want to. Why would you? Why would?
Going to be involved in this investigation any further.
But why would you? Why would you? No. But why would you? Let me finish. Why would you try to continue to re-victimize me by basically trying to invalidate?
You are the one that keeps calling me.
But why are you
for assistance?
But why would? In the last conversation, you did invalidate me. You did just the same thing as they, and you tried to come. But Mr. Layne, you're not being helpful, because you don't like when people tell you the truth. Right? I'm telling you exactly. Well, tell me something. At the beginning of this conversation, you're saying, right? Sorry, who is this?
It's Detective Sergeant Paolo Carretta from Peel Police.
Paolo
Carretta. Carretta.
Oh, okay. Can I ask what this is concerning?
Yeah, I work in public complaints. I work with Detective Layne.
Okay, all right.
So I was just calling to let you know that I've been briefed by Detective Layne, and he's been
He just wanted to let you know, and I'm going to let you know that, as far as I can tell, there's no reason to have any more communication with Detective Layne.
Okay, yeah, no, actually, I spoke to Detective Layne a few days ago. I just actually sent him an email because I was kind of very just surprised at his conduct. He came up with all kinds of excuses, and he basically was trying to prevent an investigation where I told him the matter had gotten resolved. I wasn't making a complaint on any of the appeal officers, because in my conversations with them last week, they instructed me to send them some additional information that I did have. And then they said that they would, file a proper report and carry on with the investigation and so forth. So I was surprised when I spoke to him on January 24th, that he just seemed to get very defensive. And he even said, well, who cares if the judge asked you out even for a coffee and things like that. And I was just honestly very, very shocked at his whole attitude. And just, I had met him a few years ago, and he had said, call him, if I ever think that I need him. And, because I don't know any other detective, I called him expecting that he was going to be as helpful as he was a few years ago. So I was just surprised, that, he would tell me, and I said to him at the end of the conversation, I even followed it up with an email the next day saying, at this time, I'm not making a complaint on any officers in Peel because, they told me that this had been resolved. They're going to carry on with the investigation, and that was I didn't need his help. I mean, I have to give them a chance to rectify this whole thing, right? Before flying off and making complaints and things. And I told him that specifically on the 24th. I told him that again today. Today he flew off on me, and then he hung up the phone. And, some of the things that he had been telling me on the 24th and even today, they're not correct. And number one, after I spoke to him on the 24th and specifically told him that I felt that, given our conversation, that he was going to impede the investigation, I believe he went ahead and he still did contact them. And basically, the officer came back and filed a report and closed the matter, I believe. I think I talked to her yesterday. I think she was considering closing it yesterday. He's saying that it was closed on the 24th. That is incorrect because she only filed that. I think she filed it on his advice. Right? Because it's only after I spoke to him, all of a sudden, all these months, she hadn't closed it. She was not returning my calls, returning my emails or nothing. And all of a sudden, there's a rush to close it. And I mean, I told TPS, I gave them just a fraction of the information that I gave to Peel. And they were ready to investigate this until they found out that Peel was already handling the matter. So why is he, I'm shocked because, the problem, I've been getting support from a few women's groups, and some of the education is that, some of the things that I've experienced where, women are getting re-victimized because unfortunately when they go to the police or the courts, they're invalidated. And that's all that's been happening. From the time the two Peel officers came out in September, all they kept doing is trying to invalidate everything I was saying. And that's not their job. I'm telling them what happened, and they're supposed to go and investigate it. Right? They left me hanging. I didn't even know that, unbeknownst to me, they actually had gone out and spoken to the judge. And then me calling Mr. Layne, he just went off and he was trying, literally, he was just trying to sit there, create all these reasons. Oh, I'll just say this. I'll just say it. I'll get them. You know what I mean? And that is inappropriate. That is inappropriate. So I just wanted to copy down your name, sir. Hello? Are you there?
I'm still here, so you never got a chance to let me finish.
Okay, can I have your spelling of your name, sir?
Let me finish first, and I will give you all my information, okay?
All right.
So we work here in public complaints. So if you wish to file a complaint against the service, any particular officer, or this office, I am going to direct you to go through the OIPRD moving forward. If you need the assistance of uniform, you can call 911, or you can call communications if you need police to investigate any other matters. In terms of speaking or communicating with Detective Layne, I'm asking that you no longer do that, whether it be email or telephone or any other means. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah, that's fine. I just did summarize everything and sent him an email, and that to me is the end of it. But I don't want him to continue to interfere in this because I'm
not going to get into anything else anymore. I've already been briefed by Detective Layne. I am satisfied with his explanation.
Yeah, but you're not hearing my side.
You have been given an opportunity. You just spoke for 5 minutes straight without me interrupting you, going over everything. So you were afforded an opportunity to speak. Please don't say that I didn't give you one, because I did.
Okay, so, all right, so, are you done?
My name and my badge number.
Okay, your name?
Carretta. Carretta.
Okay,
Badge number 2789.
2789? Okay, and again, my concern is why would he be why would he be trying to stop an investigation?
So I'm going to stop you right there because
Yeah.
you've already said that to me.
Yeah, so, but you didn't answer me.
You're cutting me off yet again.
Yeah, but you didn't answer me, that's why.
You're speaking without listening. I've been briefed by Detective Layne, and I'm quite comfortable in his explanation. You were again afforded an opportunity to speak with me. I listened. There's nothing further that I need to do.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question. Why would he be?
Questions for me to answer, ma'am. You are assuming.
No, but why? You know what? I recorded my conversation with.
As well on you now.
Yeah, I recorded my conversations with Detective Layne. So he did try to impede the investigation, and he was very unprofessional. He ended up hanging up the phone on me. You know, when I expressed my concern about it.